heart of South America lies a world that defies imagination. A place where beauty and danger walk side by side. Where life grows louder, faster, and more aggressively than anywhere else on Earth. This is the Amazon. Nature's most breathtaking and most dangerous paradise. For millions of years, this vast rainforest has evolved into one of the most complex ecosystems on the planet. An endless sea of green stretching over 5 million square kilometers across 9 countries. From Brazil to Peru, from Colombia to Ecuador, this living tapestry produces a fifth of the world's oxygen. Every leaf, every river, every shadow is alive with purpose. As the first light breaks through the canopy, the Amazon awakens. The morning chorus begins not with a single voice, but with thousands. Howler monkeys announce the new day with calls that echo for miles. Their voices carry a message: this territory is claimed, this family is strong, this jungle is awake. High above, the canopy stretches like an ocean of green. This is where most life exists, in a world that few humans ever see. Trees reach heights of 60 meters, competing for precious sunlight in a vertical race that has continued for millions of years. Some of these giants are over 1,000 years old, living libraries holding secrets we're only beginning to understand. But the Amazon is not one forest. It is many forests in one. Terra firme forests on high ground that never flood. Varzea forests that live with seasonal rivers. Agapo forests permanently swamped in dark water. Each type hosts its own civilization of life, its own rules of survival. Here, survival is not guaranteed. It is earned, minute by minute, day by day, in an endless dance between hunter and hunted, between growth and decay, between life and death. The jaguar. Silent, powerful, and unmatched. The king of this jungle moves through the undergrowth like liquid shadow. Unlike lions or tigers, the jaguar hunts alone, relying not on pack strength but on individual perfection. Watch as it moves. Every step calculated. Every sense attuned. Its spotted coat, which seems so visible to us, becomes invisible among the dappled shadows of the forest floor. This is camouflage designed by millions of years of evolution. The jaguar's bite is legendary. Pound for pound, it has the strongest bite of any big cat. While lions go for the throat, the jaguar does something more terrifying. It bites through the skull, piercing directly into the brain. In the Amazon, even the apex predators have evolved to kill with absolute precision. But the jaguar faces challenges. Its territory can span up to 80 square kilometers, and within that range, it must find food, avoid rivals, and eventually find a mate. In the Amazon, even the apex predators live in constant competition. Above the jaguar's domain, another apex predator rules the canopy. The harpy eagle, one of the most powerful raptors on Earth, scans the treetops with vision 8 times sharper than human eyesight. Its talons, the size of grizzly bear claws, can exert over 500 pounds of pressure. It targets monkeys, sloths, even other predatory birds. When a harpy eagle dives through the branches at speeds up to 50 miles per hour, death arrives on silent wings. In the canopy, there is no higher authority. But the jungle floor and canopy are not the only killing grounds. Along the riverbanks, black caimans lie motionless, looking like ancient logs. Growing up to 6 meters long, these relatives of the alligator are ambush predators perfected over millions of years. They wait with prehistoric patience. A capybara comes to drink. A deer approaches the water's edge. And in an explosion of violence that lasts mere seconds, the caiman's jaws snap shut with over 3,000 pounds of force. The death roll begins, and the river claims another life. The Amazon River is not just a river. It is a river system containing more water than the next 7 largest rivers combined. It discharges so much water into the Atlantic that sailors can detect fresh water over 100 miles from shore. But beneath the calm surface, another world waits. A world where danger moves with terrifying grace. The green anaconda, the heaviest snake on Earth, lurks in flooded forests like a primordial nightmare. Growing up to 9 meters long and weighing over 200 kilograms, it moves through the water with impossible silence. Unlike venomous snakes that strike and retreat, the anaconda is a constrictor. It ambushes from the water, wrapping its muscular body around prey, tightening with every breath its victim takes. Capybaras, deer, even young caimans, all can fall victim to this aquatic giant. The anaconda doesn't crush bones. It suffocates. It feels the heartbeat of its prey through its coils and waits with ancient patience for that heartbeat to stop. In the flooded forests, the anaconda is the silent emperor of death. Nearby, schools of piranha shimmer like blades beneath the surface. Their reputation precedes them, often exaggerated by Hollywood, but the reality is impressive enough. Those razor-sharp teeth, arranged in rows, can strip flesh in coordinated feeding frenzies. But here's what most don't know: piranhas are actually more scared of you than you are of them. These fish are primarily scavengers, and attacks on healthy animals are rare. However, during the dry season when food becomes scarce and hundreds of piranhas are trapped in shrinking pools, the rules change. Desperation makes any predator dangerous. And then there's a predator that doesn't use teeth or venom. The electric eel, which isn't actually an eel but a type of knife fish, has turned its entire body into a living battery. It can generate shocks of up to 860 volts, enough to stun a horse. The eel uses weak electrical pulses to navigate murky waters, creating a kind of biological sonar. But when hunting or threatened, it releases massive discharges that paralyze fish instantly. In the dark waters of the Amazon, electricity has become a weapon. But not everything in the river is a threat. The pink river dolphin, or boto, swims through these same waters with a gentleness that seems out of place. Local legends say these dolphins can transform into handsome men, coming ashore during festivals. The truth is perhaps more magical: they're one of the few dolphins that can turn their heads, allowing them to navigate through flooded forests with remarkable grace. They hunt fish using echolocation, producing clicks and whistles that map the underwater world in sound. In the murky waters where sight is useless, the boto has evolved a different way to see. But not every threat roars, and not every killer is large. Some are smaller than a fingertip, and far more deadly than any jaguar. The golden poison dart frog, brilliant yellow and impossibly beautiful, carries enough batrachotoxin to kill 10 grown men. A single grain of this toxin can stop a human heart. Indigenous hunters have used this venom for centuries, carefully wiping their blow darts across the frog's skin. But here's the remarkable part: these frogs don't produce their own poison. They acquire it from their diet of specific insects, which in turn get it from plants. The poison dart frog is a walking reminder that in the Amazon, danger is often borrowed, traded, and accumulated through the food chain. Its vibrant color isn't beauty. It's a warning written in the universal language of nature: stay away or die. Then there's the bullet ant, named for the searing pain of its sting, which victims describe as being shot. On the Schmidt Sting Pain Index, it rates as the highest level of pain from any insect sting. The agony can last for 24 hours, accompanied by shaking, nausea, and temporary paralysis. Some indigenous tribes use bullet ants in initiation rituals. Young men must wear gloves filled with hundreds of these ants for 10 minutes, enduring unimaginable pain as a rite of passage to manhood. In the Amazon, even coming of age can be a life-threatening experience. Invisible dangers rule this rainforest too. Fungi that turn insects into zombies, hijacking their nervous systems and forcing them to climb to the perfect height before erupting in spores. The cordyceps fungus is a real-life body snatcher, evolved specifically to spread its species by controlling the bodies of the dead. Parasites swim in the rivers. The kangaroo, a tiny catfish, has a terrifying reputation for entering human orifices, though documented cases are extremely rare. More common are botfly larvae, deposited by mosquitoes, that burrow under the skin and grow, feeding on living tissue until they mature and emerge weeks later. Even the plants are armed. The stinging tree, covered in silicon-tipped hairs, injects neurotoxins that can cause pain for months. Some victims report feeling the sting years later when they shower or expose the affected area to cold. The Amazon has evolved plants armed with thorns like daggers, saps that cause chemical burns, and leaves that can slice through skin. After millions of years of being eaten, the plants have learned to bite back. And yet, in the middle of this chaos, people have lived here for over 12,000 years. Indigenous tribes numbering in the hundreds, speaking languages found nowhere else on Earth, have mastered the delicate balance of survival. The Yanomami, the Kayapo, the Ashaninka, and countless others. They know which plants heal and which ones kill. Which mushrooms are food and which are poison. Which rivers to respect and which paths to avoid. Their knowledge is ancient, accumulated over hundreds of generations, and priceless. They've learned to read the forest like a book. The presence of certain insects means water is near. The call of specific birds warns of jaguars. The flowering of particular trees signals the arrival of fish in the rivers. The tribes have developed a pharmacy from the forest that modern science is only beginning to understand. They use over 1,500 plants for medicinal purposes. Curare, used on poison darts, became a crucial component in modern anesthesia. Quinine, derived from cinchona bark, treats malaria. Compounds from rainforest plants have led to treatments for cancer, heart disease, and infections. How much more knowledge remains locked in these forests? How many cures are yet to be discovered? These indigenous peoples practice a kind of agriculture that works with the forest, not against it. They rotate crops, maintain small clearings that eventually return to forest, and hunt sustainably. They take what they need and leave the rest for tomorrow. They've proven something crucial: humans can live in the Amazon without destroying it. The question is whether the rest of the world will learn this lesson before it's too late. But the Amazon faces a threat unlike anything it has seen in its millions of years of existence. Not from predators. Not from floods or fires or drought. From us. Every single minute, forest the size of 5 football fields is destroyed. Trees that have stood for centuries fall to chainsaws in seconds. Ancient ecosystems are replaced by cattle pastures that will be abandoned within a decade as the poor soil fails. Since 1970, we've lost roughly 20% of the Amazon rainforest. Gone. Converted to farmland, mining operations, illegal logging, and development. Species we never even named have vanished. Knowledge held by indigenous peoples for thousands of years has disappeared as their lands are stolen and their cultures are destroyed. The consequences reach far beyond the Amazon. This rainforest influences weather patterns across South America and even globally. It produces rivers in the sky, massive flows of moisture that travel through the atmosphere, bringing rain to distant regions. Scientists warn that we're approaching a tipping point. If we lose another 5 to 10% of the forest, the Amazon could begin to dry out and transform into savanna. The lungs of our planet are breathing harder than ever, struggling to keep up with the carbon we pour into the atmosphere. And still, the jungle fights back. Conservation efforts are expanding. Indigenous land rights are being recognized. Sustainable forestry and ecotourism are proving that the forest is worth more alive than dead. A sunrise over the canopy reveals a forest refusing to die. Jaguars still prowl its shadows, their population stabilizing in protected areas. Rivers still pulse with life. Seeds still germinate. Trees still reach for the sky. And the heartbeat of the Amazon continues steady, powerful, defiant. If we protect it. If we learn from it. If we choose to respect this dangerous paradise and the people who have always called it home. If we recognize that what happens to the Amazon happens to us all. Then the Amazon will remain one of the last truly wild wonders on Earth. Not just for the jaguars and the eagles and the anacondas. Not just for the indigenous tribes who have protected it for millennia. But for every living thing that depends on a stable climate, clean air, and a functioning planet. This is the Amazon. Untamed. unpredictable, unforgettable, and absolutely essential to our survival. The question is not whether the Amazon needs us. It's whether we can prove ourselves worthy of it.